For today's video, I thought it would be a little bit of fun to take you through a guided self-inquiry. Okay, so the purpose of self-inquiry every single time is to see what is right here, what is always here. It's to first kind of separate that which is real from that which claims to be real and permanent and fixed and solid, yet is constantly changing. Thereby seeing the nature of what reality is, seeing the nature of what you are. Okay, so for the purpose of this inquiry, you can close your eyes and notice that the moment that you do close your eyes, the seeing, the knowing becomes subtler. Meaning, before when your eyes were open, there was this sense that I, this body, am seeing a world that is separate from me, that is outside of me, with many physical objects. And just by the act of closing your eyes, the physical objects have disappeared. Okay, the mind may come in right now and say, oh, but they're still there. But for the purpose of inquiry, we always simply resort to the actual experience right now. Not what you believe to be true, or not looking through a perception, a memory, but actually what is right here. What is the actual experience? So just by closing your eyes, eyesight has stopped, and the world that is outside of you has disappeared. There are no more physical objects that you can see, okay, that you know. Now the seeing already has become more subtle. On this level of seeing, you are seeing maybe just nothingness, right? Just maybe blackness, what your mind is labeling blackness. You're seeing thoughts. You're seeing sensations. And the word seeing can be, replaced also by knowing, being aware of. You're knowing thoughts. You're knowing sensations. Imagination. Whatever the current thing is that is arising, don't try to manipulate it or stop it or try to, make it disappear, but see what is actually arising. There's something that's always arising, even if it's the sense of your butt sitting on the chair. Notice how that is a sensation that is known. Now, what is it that knows it? It's quite clear that there is a knowing happening of the thoughts. It's quite clear that there is a knowing happening of the emotion, of the sensations, of the sounds. There's even a knowing happening of this perception that the sound is coming from over there. But the knowing of that, is that not happening right here? The sound of the birds outside the window over there, is that sound not being known right here and right now? Is there any distance between the sound of the bird and the knowing of it right here and now? even the perception of the bird is over there, the sound is over there, is that not happening right here? Is the knowing of that, is that not happening right here? Is the label being given to it that is the sound of a bird? Is that label, the knowing of the label, also not being known right here? What is it that knows it? Don't be so quick to jump to a conclusion or try to answer this question with the mind or try to figure it out. Even the thoughts that kind of get triggered when you ask, what is it that knows this? Even the thoughts that get triggered, is there not a knowing of those thoughts? Are those thoughts that are arising now, are they not being known by something? Are those thoughts also not appearing in knowing? So what is it that knows? See, the thoughts that arise, the emotions that arise, they always have some sort of story behind them. They're always proposing something. They're always analyzing something, interpreting something. In inquiry, we are not interested in what the thoughts are proposing or suggesting or interpreting. We are interested instead in what is it in which they appear. What is it that is aware of these thoughts? What is it that is aware of these emotions? What is it that is aware of these sensations? Because one thing that we know for sure is that knowing is happening. Otherwise, you cannot know your thoughts. You cannot know your sensations. You cannot know your emotions or anything, your perceptions. The knowing is happening, and it's happening without you wanting to do it or wanting to do it. So, what is that knowing? Take your attention there. Take your attention to the knowing itself happening without control. Become a little sensitive to all the noises going on around you. Maybe you live on a busier street like me, and there's always the noises of cars outside. See that when you close your eyes and you're just sitting here, the sounds are just happening, and there's a knowing of those sounds. There's an effortless knowing. There's an effortless awareness of what is arising. What is it that knows? Notice how when you inquire like this, there's an obvious feeling that I am the one that knows. Obviously, like I am at the center of my experience. I am at the center of all that I know. All that I know reports to me. So, and actually I want you to really tune into this right now, is that yes, the knowing is happening. There is an awareness of the sound, of the thoughts. I want you to see, is this awareness, is this knowing separate from you? Is it at any distance from you? Is it something that you have to achieve or maintain or add on to what you are? Or is it clear that I am the one that is knowing? I am the knowing. I am knowing my thoughts. I am knowing my sensations, my perceptions. So then this me that knows, this I that is at the heart of all that is known, what is this I? What is this me that knows my thoughts? What is this me that so effortlessly knows my sensations, the sounds? And see how oftentimes the mind is so quick to come in with all these sorts of other thoughts, trying to label what is it that knows. It's trying to label it as, oh, I am awareness, or I am this, I am that. It's my brain knowing, or this and that. But here, those answers will not serve you. It will not serve you to come up with another intellectual answer, because what is an intellectual answer? It is simply, again, a thought that is known. So the intellectual answer, the concept, will never satisfy. You have to allow this question to actually take the attention to that knowing. So when you ask, so what is this me that knows? Allow yourself, so notice what happens to the attention. What is this me that is aware of experience? I am aware, right? Even that question itself. Am I aware? Am I the one that is aware? See what it does to your attention. In the moment that you ask yourself, am I aware? Or what is this me, this I, that is aware? Notice how, for those moments, the attention is no longer going outward onto thoughts, sensations, emotions, sounds. They may be appearing, but the attention is just here. There is an awareness of awareness itself. There is a knowing of knowing itself. And everything else takes a back seat. So abide in this. Stay here a little longer. See how effortless this knowing is. Does this knowing ever disappear? Even when there are a lot of thoughts, even when the experience is sort of hectic and chaotic, does this awareness, does this knowing of those thoughts ever disappear? Can you even know a lot of mind without knowing of it? Without the awareness of it? Notice how the mind appears and disappears. But the knowing, the sense that I am the knower of my experience, never fades away. It is always present. No matter what is appearing, I am the knower of it, and I see it arise from nothing and then subside back into nothing. Who am I that is here, stable, permanent, that is aware of all that is temporary, coming and going? If you were that thought, if you were that emotion, if you were that version of your body, you would be gone when it was gone. But you are here, and you know it, and you see it come and go. Then what are you? No need to analyze. See the tendency of the thoughts arising, trying to instantly label this. Simply just turn the attention to the knowing itself, to the awareness itself. See that awareness is always here. And that awareness is felt to be what I am. It is quite obvious that I am aware. I am the one that knows. So this I that knows, is it the body? See for yourself right now. Is it the body that is aware? If you look closely, you will kind of come to a recognition that no, when I close my eyes, this knowing is still happening. So this knowing is actually subtler than the body. This knowing is the knowing in which the body is constantly changing and coming and going. All these different versions of my body. Notice how there's actually nothing more to the body when you're so right now, when your eyes are closed, there's nothing more to the body than just a bunch of sensations that are appearing in this knowing. The body is just that, a bunch of sensations happening here and now, known by what I am. Even with the eyes open, what is there to the body other than an image? An image and a bunch of sensations that are felt more intimately than perhaps the perception of an outside world. But even these intimate sensations and images are known by what I am, which is subtler than the body. So what is this knowing? If it is not the body, then is it the mind? Mind, which is thoughts. Thoughts is mind. There's nothing more to mind than thoughts. But I know my thoughts. The knowing is subtler than mind. Only then I am able to know mind. Only then I am able to see mind appear and then disappear. I see mind constantly change, always. Thoughts just coming and going, always. So what I am is subtler than even mind. So what is this me then? Because what I believe myself to be, right? For example, me, Sunny. All I really consist of is this body and these thoughts, this identity. My entire identity, my entire history, my past, my story is all mind. It's all just thoughts which arise in this moment, and I know them. So if I am subtler than and deeper than even Sunny, what am I really? And am I this only when I do the inquiry? Or am I always this? Even when the identity arises again, the thoughts arise again, the emotions arise again, is this deeper knowing of these things? Is this awareness of these things not always present? Does that ever disappear? So what am I then? If I am not the mind, if I am not the body, then what am I? This one that never appears. I'll check in with you again. Can this one be separated from you? Is this knowing, this awareness at any distance from you? You say it is at no distance from you. It is not separate from you. And you're saying that it never disappears. It is always here. So then do you have to become this? Or are you already always this? Have you already always been this? Now what this awareness is, this knowing is, can you point to it in experience like an object? Can this be known as an object of experience like mind or body? Not really, because if it appeared in awareness, then there would be a knowing of even that, and that knowing is essentially even deeper than this thing that would appear. So this awareness, this knowing, cannot appear in experience like an object, like a perceivable object. It is invisible, yet ever present. It has no substance, no form, yet it is easily known as myself. This me that has no form, that has no quality, that has no perceivable dimensions, is this one physical? Consider for a second what you are discovering right now. The implications of what you are discovering right now. That what I am, essentially, in this moment and always, is that which is not physical. Is that which is never affected by experience. So many negative thoughts and experiences can occur in this, but the knowing of them, the awareness of them, which I am, is that ever obstructed or hurt or damaged? The same knowing that I am knows my negative thoughts and all these negative experiences. It's the same knowing that knows my happy thoughts, my happy experiences. And it remains unaffected, untouched, as all these images, all these thoughts, perceptions, emotions come and go. this non-physical thing that we have just discovered, this knowing quality, which is always here. Does this one have a beginning? Can you find a beginning to this, or an end to this? Can you find any quality to it that limits it? Or is it unlimited? In your direct experience, you cannot find any limitation to what this is. You cannot find anything that puts it into a limited context, a limited definition, other than perhaps a concept that you can create of it. But the concept would be limited. The knowing of it is still pristine and unlimited, infinite. That knowing is myself. What I always am. So knowingly be this, instead of always identifying with what appears in this, rather than being so interested in the story of what is arising and being so captivated by what is arising, knowingly always be aware of this. Be aware of the fact that you are aware, and go about your experience. So allow this inquiry to really light something up in you, which, by the way, if you're watching this far, it already is lighting something up in you. What you are discovering just through this simple looking of the direct experience right now is not something minor. It is very significant. It is the deepest truth of what you are, unobstructed by mental concepts and beliefs about what you are. So allow yourself the time now to marinate in this. Rest in this awareness of awareness. Knowing of the fact that I am that knowing. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you next time.